would say this house has always represented the bohemians of San Francisco. The Russians were definitely bohemians that were here, and having the speakeasy and everything. Well, it represented the merchant class in the beginning, the 1% of the people that could afford the money to build a house like this. And I'm actually a member of that class, but I have a heart, having grown up in Haight-Ashbury. I had grown up around the city and had been fascinated with the Haight-Ashbury and the hippie movement there. I also loved all the old Victorian houses, having watched The Addams Family. I'm 56 years old now. When I was 8 years old, The Addams Family TV show came on, and they were my inspiration for my life. They were my role models, and I've kind of modeled my life. I'm an eccentric millionaire such as Gomez Addams. I'm very similar to him, and he's been my role model. Him and Jed Clampett were my role models in life. Eccentric, but a kind heart. And then the hippies in the Haight-Ashbury were my role models in life. I used to come down here into the Western Addition though as a kid though, and I started by taking the doorknobs off of houses. Then I started getting a little more bold and taking stained glass windows and then taking doors. And by the time I was 19, I had so much architectural salvage that I had to buy my own house, which is why I am able to sit in this mansion today. Had been living on welfare up in the Haight-Ashbury. I was a high school dropout, and then I just had a lot of lucky breaks. Yeah, I'd gotten involved in some bad stuff. I'd done some drug dealing, and I had done some male prostitution as a teenager. What it took to survive. I was a ghetto kid, and I learned to be a hustler. But I was a hippie psychedelic hustler. So I took that money and bought my first house, and then I had a very lucky break. I started buying Victorians in the city back in the 1970s, 1976. I bought my first Victorian house, and believe it or not, you could still buy a 2-flat Victorian in San Francisco in 1976 for $17,000. I bought my first building in the Dogpatch section of Potrero Hill on Tennessee Street. My mortgage was $120 a month. And I owned a building that didn't even have indoor plumbing. It had an outhouse and a dirt road. Tennessee was one of the last dirt roads in the city, but that's where I had to start. Well, it's got a very colorful history. All of this has drawn me to the house, but I was drawn to the house for the decrepit look of it in the 60s. It reminded me of the Addams Family, and I remember an LSD trip I took in Haight-Ashbury as a young boy saying, it came to me on an LSD trip in my bedroom. I lived in a commune on Haight Street as a little boy and as a young teenager. And it came to me, I am going to make it happen to buy that house. And that day forward, everything fell into place from that one LSD trip. Within a week or two, I owned my store on Haight Street. And within a week or two, I knew to take all the money I would make in the store and buy real estate so that I could pyramid enough money to work my way up to this house. It was always my dream to own this house.